You don't see as many tweets coming out of Congress right now because in the wake of the Anthony Weiner debacle, conflict scandal, it had a 29% drop among congressmen using the tweets. But still, President Obama announced new Twitter account which he's going to use for his 2012 campaign. So here to talk more about how the social media may shape the 2012 campaign election is Hillary Nye, a digital media attorney. Welcome, Hillary.
Thank you very much for having me, Lauren. I appreciate this.
Well, I think it's really interesting because I think this might prove, and maybe you can just shed more light on this, that social media is not going anywhere. I mean, you've got your the evil side of it, the weakness of it, the good, bad, the ugly part. But the good's going to outweigh the bad. Do you see that happening?
Oh, absolutely. And I think that in order to play effectively in this space, particularly if you want to reach out to people and engage them, you have to do more than traditional media. I mean, traditional media is not social media. And it requires some engagement both by the part of those who want to send a message, but also those who are listening to that message so that there can be a meaningful opportunity for conversation and debate and do all of those things that we want to do in a healthy political process.
Yeah, but how does President Obama, though, need to be cautious about using social media?
Well, I think part of being cautious is being realistic. No social media is particularly secure or immune from being hacked. I mean, in 2009, President-elect Obama and Fox News Network were both hacked. Their Twitter accounts were. But bottom line is that it's a necessary part of communicating with the world these days. You have to go where the voters are, and right now they're using social media. And provided you're using just some basic precautions, and granted, things have gotten better since 2009. I think Twitter took quite a bit of a hit from the FTC and had to really revamp its privacy policies. So I think everybody's getting smarter, better about social media. And we're even seeing that now in terms of how politicians are using social media. I mean, not all politicians, granted.
Yeah, right.
I think in order for social media to be effective, you have to engage. And those who are just broadcasting and not having a conversation are missing out on some really important opportunities.
When Anthony Weiner got caught in this scandal, he blamed hackers, and he really was feeding into a fear that people have about hackers. It totally was not true, but obviously a lot of people believed it because we know about hackers, and that's a major fear. But in reality, is hacking really as big of a problem as it once was?
Well, that's a good question because I think you're going to get about 10,000 different answers to that. There is still... It's like anything else. If somebody doesn't care about getting caught and really is bent on hacking into a system, there are ways for them to be successful. People can break the law. A person can rob a bank if they don't care about getting caught. And I think if you go to Google and just look up brute force hacking, which is what a lot of folks use to hack into systems like social networks, you'll probably get hundreds of thousands of hits and instructions on how to do it.
Now, how actually can we see a difference in how social media will shape the 2012 campaign? Obviously, President Obama used it in the 2008 campaign, and a lot of Republicans, a lot of politicians were blindsided by the effect of this. I mean, I think he probably got millions of young people to vote that were not voting before. But in terms of how this will affect 2012, we've all learned something from that. So how is it now going to play on the campaign stage?
Oh, I predict an incredible shift in politics as usual. I see social media sites really becoming forums. If you think about cable TV, for example, you don't go to cable TV as a platform because cable TV offers you something that you can't get anywhere else. It actually just offers you a forum to go to something that interests you and is interesting to a particular set of consumers. So I predict Facebook, YouTube, all of those social media sites that we've come to know and love, Twitter, will be platforms for interesting debate and conversation in the political landscape, I also predict we're going to see a whole new uprising of what I would call political entrepreneurs who actually use those social media networks to connect, to change the conversation, to engage voters. One to watch would be Votocracy.com, for example. They're on a Facebook platform. All of these things, I think, are going to become valuable tools and shape the political landscape, certainly in this next election and in the future.